Because basically, this is what's happening now. You attend your Okada man. Are you mind? Are you blind? If the guy comes down, now you have put your guy in a position where he has to fight an Okada man. For what reason? Welcome to the hottest podcast in the land. My name is Adefolami. I'm your host. You're welcome to Darkpore Show. It's a show where we're helping young people start new careers, new relationships, and new families. So today we'll be reviewing an article. This article was published in 2019, September 2019, by Anna Frischberg. Okay, so the title of the article is "Women Are Struggling to Find Men Who Make as Much Money as They Do." A good man is hard to find, especially in this economy. The country is facing a crisis of broke dudes, according to a new research from Cornell University, and it has left successful ladies single and disgruntled. In the study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family, Cornell sociologists explored America's declining marriage rates, and they discovered a lack of financially eligible bachelors.
I think it has to do with lady. There are so many ladies that are looking for a partner that they can actually control. You should be okay financially.
Yes.
But you want to actually be in a state of, they have this way of like,
dictate.
Guy, I'm leaving, and you're like scared that please don't leave. Why? Because you have this kind of financial strength than the guy. So that equal part, I don't think is applicable to all ladies now. Normally, there are ladies that they don't have much. A lot of ladies which don't have this financial strength, they look for a partner that can actually fit that position. Yes. But I'm telling you, a lady that is strong financially, majorly with what we see now, she's always looking for a guy, not that financially weak, but as not as strong as and she can actually bank on that to actually do some operation.
Everybody seems to agree with you.
I think I have an objection to that. Because the reason why we have ladies that are financially okay looking for a guy that it's not a guy that is actually not as financially okay as they are is because so many times we see ladies that are rich, they have the money, and they go for broke guys, they end up getting duped. Yes, that is why we see most ladies will be like, if the guy does not have money, then I should be able to control him. Because if he's in control, there's like a 90% chances that the guy is just going to take all our money and jump up.
The strength of what you just said now, you're already correlating what you said. Mm-hmm. Somebody who's looking for a broke guy, you're trying to look at the level of control you can have over that person.
That guy.
So definitely, it's in tandem with what you just said.
What I'm trying to say is, most lady that does that is majorly like because of the experience they've had with guys.
Let me clarify right now. Are you saying that most ladies that what you're saying is your opinion is that women will find men that they out-earn?
I said most.
Most women that find men that they out-earn. You're saying that they're looking for those kind of men because they've been disappointed.
Yes. We have I've heard of stories. I've seen women that are actually very rich and they go into relationship. They are devoted. They give their money to the man and so respectful. But at the end of the day, they see that those guys use their money against them. Like even when they are wrong, they'll be like, "Oh, you are doing this because you are richer than I am." Yeah. Like there's this guy's mentality about. Like I'm not saying all guys, but mentality about ladies that are rich. Like we just have it that ladies that are rich are proud. Yes, so if she does any little thing, you see the guy just back and say, "Oh, you are doing this because you are richer than I am." And before you know it, the guy is just like, "Oh, she's too proud. I don't want this." So because of that, ladies and their mental health, what they've experienced over the years, they're just like, okay, if this is actually what people think I am, then let me actually look for a guy that I can actually control.
So
I think you disagree.
Yeah.
Well, I agree to an extent that it's because it's what is happening. It's very practical, and you see young lot of ladies because yes, an average lady also wants dominance. An average lady wants dominance, whether she's rich or she's not rich, she wants dominance. That's how women are wired. They want to dominate. So it depends on the guy she's dating, whether the guy gives her the free, the all in all to
Yeah,
allow
allows
her,
her.
dominate and all that. But the financial strength that gives them that upper edge, when they now have to try to dominate a relationship. Now, ordinarily, even when they don't date a guy that is as rich as them, whether he's richer, even if they are equals, she still tries to let her voice be heard, because with the financial strength, she believes that I have money, I'm independent. Yes, you're also rich, but if you tell me to leave today, I can take care of myself. So she wants her voice to be heard, because that's one problem a woman has.
Yeah.
They always want their voice to be heard. You understand? So in that situation, when they feel disappointed with other guys, probably a rich guy or somebody who does not even have, they rather prefer somebody they can, play with, like a toy boy that they can deal with, and they can trash at any point in time. So if you mess up, they do away with you, they bring in somebody else. And that's what's happening currently.
This article, the last line we read in the article said that although we like to think that marriage is based on love, it is fundamentally an economic transaction. Is that true?
Yes. I would not use the word when there is money, there is love, but if you love someone and there is money, it helps you to strengthen what you have.
Yes.
Because when you, for instance, you love someone, but you have responsibilities you're unable to meet up with, you're going to be frustrated.
Definitely.
Very frustrated. It can be very frustrating.
I want to ask this question. Then our guy has something to say, but I want to ask this question. Do you think women know how to love men?
Of course.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I asked that question because the concept of romance largely seems to be
Man
applicable
giving.
to men. It's men that
Yes, they have
particularly
the
broke
duty.
men.
Mostly.
Basically, most women who go into any relationship, either it leads to marriage or not, they are looking to be secured. That's the end product. Secured in all angle. Then you put the love aside. Love is more like you're sprinkling on it. Just to get what you
Salt
want.
and-
Once they feel secured, either financially, mentally, they are okay. That's when they believe you love them.
What you have just said now
Has just
has broken the
has
delusion.
just soured the whole case.
Let me ask that question to you. Can you love anybody as long as the person can provide?
No.
For women, yes.
I mean,
But
yes,
for
no,
men, no.
yes.
No.
Reason why is yes. We have so many ugly people.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they get married at the end? Because they are financially okay.
No, and that is why their marriage is not last.
Whose marriage won't last?
Most of them are having issues in their marriage.
Who?
but they can't
What
say it
people?
out.
What people?
All right, so we'll talk to someone in the studio who has experience with this. You've counseled married couples.
Yeah.
And all that. Several who are at the point where they're about to get married, several at the point where they're about to dissolve their marriages.
Mhm.
What's your view on things? Because he said that you can love anybody as long as the person can provide.
Yeah, basically the concept of love still exists. There's still a lot of people who love you even if you can't provide everything, and they're ready to support you and be there for you any day, anytime. Yeah, but the only issue here is that there's nothing universal when it comes to relationship. It might work for you, it might not work for me.
Yeah.
You understand? So it differs, But basically, any marriage or relationship issue is based on emotional safety and financial security. They go hand in hand. Now, there are cases whereby you could love somebody, your partner, like a woman loves you so much, you don't have so much money, and she loves you day, afternoon, night. And she's there for you. And we've seen situations whereby she loves you, she does everything for you, even if you can't provide for her, but she has a side guy on the other hand who's providing for her.
Exactly.
It might not be a sugar daddy, it might be just
Normal
a
boy.
young guy, but he's providing the finances. He loves you, she loves you genuinely, no issues. But she's having somebody who is supporting her financially. And she's using that money to support you. But if today she wants to get married, she'll still get married to her partner. So what happens? Because you hardly find a guy or a woman, or let's talk about guys, that is total package. You hardly find it. And even what I used to tell people is that, okay, A guy might start out as a fun guy in his early days, but at some point, due to exposure, due to new friends he's meeting, he might turn to that boring guy. Because a young man who is hustling, for instance, is in his 20s, he's hustling, gets married to you, you go clubbing all the time and regularly. He gets to his mid-30s, going to 40s. He meets these new guys, new business partners, who change his orientation from clubbing to, let's go to the adult club, for instance, like where you meet the business tycoons, not the young club that where you dance all night, but the adult club, you play lawn tennis, you play some recreational stuff, and you sit down together and have some, discussions till midnight. Now, his orientation is changing. Now, he doesn't take you to the regular clubs anymore. Rather, he's telling you that, I'm going to meet my friends at the club and they want to have a discussion. Now he's traveling frequently. And now you look at him that he's changing because it's getting boring. Now, a guy will always evolve with time. But the main thing is that you don't grow apart, you grow together. So as you are evolving, your wife too must evolve
with you.
as you evolve.
That's male right abuse.
But in the story that you narrated now, it's not that they were more educated.
Not
Just
at
that
all.
they just happened to.
It's a female
All the ladies in the studio have kept quiet.
Actually, I
That's
think
what's happening.
for me, I think these days most ladies are more educated because of the past experience that ladies have had. So based on the life women used to have in the past, you say women their only responsibility is just to be the kitchen. So women now want to show that what a man can do, a woman can do better. So women want to attain that height that seems impossible. Like women have been looked down on in the past. So they want to show that really women actually amount to something in the society. And irrespective of the position, we have countries whereby a woman is the president. And before, when you mention women, they will be like, women care. But these days, we are seeing that even we have women that are even more productive than men.
All right, so I can see from the way you have spoken that you are a bit of a female rights activist.
I think I would like to add to that. I totally agree with that submission. And ordinarily, the female makeup, a woman makeup, ordinarily, they are quite more intelligent than a male, statistically, if you look at their biological makeup, which I agree. But, I'm sure that if there's a statistics or if there's a research done today in Nigeria today, you realize that trend is changing a little bit. Now, I'll say this because in the past, it used to be that, okay, the female child wants to really attain educational heights, like get to the top. While the male guy, the male counterpart is more or less like, okay, because of the economics around, like, that, okay, the mindset is that if I don't have money, I can't really, be responsible. I can't really, achieve my dreams, So a male child is more or less like, I want to make money. They're not really about school.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I do the basics. I'm a graduate. The next thing is business. I want to make money. People from the southeastern part they're not even interested in the school part. It's more or less like, I want to just make money. Yes, we agree. But if you do a current analysis of what is going on presently in the country right now, you realize that girls in the mid-20s don't even want to do anything now again. Now they want to be so dependent on their guy.
Baby girl.
So you realize that, I'm sure if they do a research between 2020 to like 2025, you realize that there's a decline in the educational potential of ladies. Now, a girl in her mid-20s just wants to have a rich boyfriend. If possible, move to his house, stay in his house, and just keep enjoying the soft life.
Baby girl,
I'm telling you, it's a new trend. And that's why I said that I'm sure if they do a research now, girls between 20 to like 28, you realize that, they are young, they're supposed to have that potential of, okay, yes, you're done with school, I want to do business, I want to do stuff. You realize that you see girls that are dating a rich boyfriend, and she's idle, and you ask, tell your boyfriend that, okay, even if he's weak, start selling, start doing something. They tell you that at all.
Baby
That's
girl.
what they wake up in the morning, order,
Go to
go out.
I
Dubai.
can't stress myself.
Exactly. Go to Dubai. I think you're part of them. Go to Dubai for like a month. Go to Dubai for 3 months. Sleep in the hotel and enjoy. And you're like, okay, when you went to Dubai
And
for
get
3 months,
fat.
you can still
Don't
enjoy
forget
yourself
to add that
and
fat.
still do business. But nothing. They're not doing anything. All they want to do is just enjoy and enjoy.
Do you have any issues with this? You're looking for
No,
a
I
woman that will
actually
give you money.
No, no. The issue is I actually have a friend that was a lady. Per lady, the age the particular lady is determining the request per time. One of my teenage girl came to meet me, 17 years. She was like, how can we cope with relationship? Like, how can we make it better? I was like, "Ah, 17 years, how are you asking me this?" I was like, okay, Sarah, I'm in a relationship involved with 7. He said, these are 4th relationship.
Wow.
And she's 17.
Mamo.
No.
No,
Where am I
wait,
going
wait,
to?
so let me just pause. You continue the story. You seem surprised because you said that it's a
Of
photo
course.
with you guys.
Yeah.
17.
The highly
That's not
experienced.
surprising.
That's not
Be
surprising.
honest. We'll take the conversation back to social influence. We'll talk about that. But at this point in this show, we don't want to pontificate.
Yeah.
Okay? We want to meet people where they are and want to have conversations that will be useful. All right, so let's have your story, Christiana.
Pertaining to what he said, people who has decided not to get married. Like right now, I'm not even planning to get married. I'm not planning to settle down. That's just the fact. Because my experience so far, even my friends that are married, they are always like calling me. He has started, oh, he has this, oh, he has that, oh, what should I do? I'll say, calm down. There's nothing you do. You are already in it. So you can't go out of it anymore. Assuming you are not in it before, to be another story entirely. So I just advise them to stay in it and endure whatever they are going through. So me as a person too, I'm not, because I have a son. I'm a single mom, and I wanted to try that lifestyle. I see it won't even work at all. So I had to back out, and I decided not to get married to the father of my son, and he's still wanting to come back. Like, I said no, because even it's like a trauma to me. What my mom went through with my dad and all, I can't even sit down and start experiencing that kind of thing.
Do you have any questions for her? Perhaps
Yeah,
do you have any questions for her?
yeah. I'd like to ask Christina if when you say, I respect your opinion, but you need to give us a bit of detail, even not so deep. Now, the question is, if you're talking about what your friends are telling you about their partners, is it that the guy is beating them? Is it that he's not providing for them? Is it that he's cheating too much? What exactly are they complaining about? Like each one of them, or what exactly is the major problem? You might not go deeper more than that, but let us just have a pointer and say that this is what you hear most of the time.
It's basically physical assault.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still tell them to stay.
No, my friends are like, some will complain about financial issue, some will complain about assault.
Okay.
Now you enter them now.
So
No one force
the
you.
assault part.
No.
I've once advised one of my friend to leave that kind of relationship. She has 2 kids for the guy. So I said, leave this kind of relationship. It won't work. But she like, okay, there's nothing anyone would tell me again. I'm going out of this relationship. Next thing I saw, she's pregnant again for the same thing.
That's it.
You tell somebody to leave their
You know,
relationship.
when it comes to-
It's not logic. This is
No. When it comes to physical assault, yes, in as much as we go against physical assault, in some relationships, there are different degrees to physical assault. That it gets to a particular level that you're like, this is the next thing is going to be death. You understand? There are some physical assaults that they go into arguments. Maybe he hit her and maybe the guy leaves the house or something. Sometimes it usually starts small, then it aggravates. But it depends on the temperament of the guy. There are some guys that once they start the physical assault, in that moment, if they don't beat her to stupor, they will never stop.
Yes.
I have a situation I'm managing presently whereby the guy cheats regularly. He's rich, he's okay, but he cheats regularly. Now, the girl, or the wife, so to say, her major issue is the cheating part. She loves the guy, but the guy cannot do
It's a
without
serious
cheating. So the girl went to a pastor, and the pastor said, okay, she will pray
About it.
and ensure that the guy doesn't find any other woman attractive, but he won't have money again. Or we try and manage and be praying that one day
You change.
the girl said, that money part is important.
That would be better.
So you want the money, but you don't want him to cheat. So what do we do?
Let the boys fly.
Is there anybody here who also echoes our view that you don't want to get into marital relationships because of experience of other people?
Yes, because for me, that was then. Because I made up my mind that anything called marriage or husband or boyfriend, I would never do it in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that I was talking, they make me to, like, let me just share my own opinion. I'm a single mother now as well. I'm not just a single mother, like I'm a single mother of two. My first child, I have it with a person that I love at the age of 20. That is my first guy. My parents said that I should not marry the brother because he's a Muslim, and them just partially hate their family because they are those Muslims that used to do ritual stuff. So my family did not even love the family background at all. I said, okay. I stay with my parents, my mom, everything, so find everything together without any help from anybody but from God and from my mom. When I gave birth to the baby, I saw someone, a guy, and that guy always come to our house, just do as a father to that baby man. Like all the time, carry the baby, play with the baby. And from that place, I see that, wow, for this kind of guy to show a love to a baby that is not belongs to him, probably maybe he's a nice and cool guy. Fortunately, I fought to his own victim. And I don't think I get married to him because I don't get married. But with no do wedding and no pay for my red price. That is how we ended, and I went to him. I said, if we are
So
fighting,
you had your second child for him.
For him.
if we are fighting, if he's beating me inside, if my mommy is walking in, I will stop. We'll be playing. If my mom comes and I said, I heard your voice, I will tell my mom that my voice, are you sure that is my voice? So no, we're okay, we're fine, we are cool, as you can see.
Pause. Then you continue.
Movie
time.
If my mom go out, if my mom leave us, we start it again.
So who will start all over? You or him?
It will be the one to start. So
That's a killer.
there's one thing that he did to me. Like, we are coming either from church, I don't even know. So we're coming from somewhere, I was on his own bike. So I greeted my mom. And he dropped me because I greeted my mom. He dropped me, he said I should trek home.
Wow. Hey, problem.
And he's telling me that what right will I have to greet my mom without his permission?
It's plenty.
Wow.
Alpha and Omega.
That's
So
Dracula.
because this, I just look at him like, okay, no, wala, let me start going. I walk on with baby in my back, and we start another fight.
Wow.
We got on. Were you under his spell or something?
I
don't
don't
think
what
it's-
I tried.
I don't think
She
it's
must
someone.
have
She's
been-
explaining to you.
She already
After
established that before.
After all this, I didn't say it out. If they ask me what am I passionate to, I say I'm okay. I'm perfectly okay. If
We don't know
serious,
bruises
I
or
don't,
scars
because
or
I'm a
something.
kind of person that it's hardly for me to
does when
speak
it's
out my mind.
Yeah.
If my family ask me
Professional.
that, Jumoke, what are you going through? What is happening to you? I will tell them that I'm fine. I will never tell you that this is what I'm passing through.
I have a question for you. So right now, you're no longer with him.
Right now, I'm no longer with, and this is how I even leave the relationship. Because when it gets to a stage, my mom comes to us to pack my load, and I ask my mom to return back my load.
Juju is strong.
Seriously.
Because
Adult juju.
When I get to stage, it was mountain of fire. We went to the church just as normal big service. So they are praying. Then I said that we should pray over some yoke. You know how MFM is
Yes.
praying.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
keep praying. And they now touch me, pray for me. So when we are now going home, my husband was like, Jumoke, what happened to you? That person is touching you. I said, well, everybody closed his eyes. What do you expect me to know? How do you expect me to know that person is touching my head or doing anything? Is it what? So they asking me that question till we got when I started another fight that day. That is when I raised my voice on him and I faced him.
You don't break.
You don't break down.
Sorry. I went to work. When I went to work, he now said that he's going to report me to my family. I said, I don't
Use
care.
voodoo.
Anybody going to report
That's
me to
voodoo
my
love.
So that day, my own brother sent me an errand. Then now I dropped my slippers at the doorstep. So I wore one of my sister's slippers. So they now came that, where's Jumoke? Where's Jumoke? They said, they sent her. He didn't believe. When I come, I said that I went to a man's house. When I got to him, I started beating me. I changed it for him. With, like throughout of that day, people are saying that Jumoke, don't sleep in that house, he will kill you. Or this is your mommy, has go to your mommy. As if anybody tell my mom, I will change it for that person. You should just leave me. And I sleep over. You even have sex with me overnight. No, it's not working again. He did it to me.
But during this period, where was your first child?
You have already said I should drop my, like I should take my first job because it's disturbing.
That's how they are.
So I don't look at him like, okay. I don't look at him, okay, this is fine. You have do all my money that day, you collected it from me. I said, fine, that is okay. And it took me, like, say he's not going to carry me to work. You have collected my money. How do you want me to go to my place? Like 30 minutes or 1 hour journey. Are you expecting me to trek? You must carry me. You carry me with the baby. I'm the one that is paying the baby school fees. So he carried me to shop, drop me at shop, now call my senior, explain everything to my senior. My senior and say, for real? Now went to my father's house that I don't used to talk. So that my senior now called me that, Jumoke, I know you don't used to talk. Anytime I ask you, you say nothing. What is happening? I explain everything to my senior. That was like, oh yeah, go and tell your daddy. Now I don't have father, like go and tell your brothers, take bike, now I will give you bike money. Go and tell them that this is what you are passing through. She gave me, our boss is not around. She now said, okay, go. I will tell our brother I'm not that sent you. I said, okay, I follow. I took back and go. So he saw me on the road, was like, why are you going to? Why are you asking me? That's when I went to my brother and I explained everything to him. Immediately while one of my brother heard about his coach, just said, I must not sleep in that house that day. The one that took bike, put me on that bike and they went to pack all my load. And it was like, no, I don't mean it's like that. I don't know that it's going to be like that too. They should forgive her that, okay, 2 of us should be living there. I said, I will not. Even my brother wife was saying that they will still say to that, I will still be going at the back to meet him. I said, if I go there, like if I mistakenly go to that house, that will be the end of my life. Until now, even when they even called me that he died, my brother was trying to guide me that maybe they should not tell me. I said, who cares? I don't know whether he's existing. Even when he's alive, I don't know. So they should just forget about it. His family called me and I said, hello, Jumoke, I said, did I have baby for you? I don't have child for you. So you people should just close it that I have child. Don't even know that your brother have one baby somewhere. Very soon, I will change the child name as my name. Peace. Thank God it's both female and male that is very down him. So nobody will question the baby. I said, I've been the one to nurture that baby from the day one. Said now he's going to secondary school. And you're not telling me that you want to claim a child? Are you for real? Both the first and the second one. You're not telling me that no. Things are not done like that.
You are not planning to get married to anyone.
Yes, I said I will not get married, but with what I'm hearing from my dad, my mom, because I'm the first one of my mom, and the last, and from father's side, I'm from a polygamous, so I'm the last one and the only daughter. So they went to see me doing something. Mm-hmm. So I told that if the time comes, I will surely get married. After all, I have someone I'm dating and he knows everything about me, and he loves me with who I am. It's not financial, but I believe that everything is going to be fine.
Definitely. Yes. I like that.
I don't know what to say right now.
Your story took multiple turns.
Because
why are you saying because? If you probably went through half of what you went through, what would happen?
He's calling me, like he called me that, hello Jimmy, you know you are a good girl. Let me marry you. Ask my parents whether it's possible. And I said, I don't need to ask my parents. Let's assume your brother is a good person to me.
Yeah, you can marry.
I think he's very sweet.
You don't even have to even marry.
I love you people very. To me, I love anybody around me. I said, But your brother is not even a good person. Even my sister, if my sister heard anything about it, my mom started liking that child. Not quiet.
I think so far so good. It's a good story. All's well that ends well, right?
Exactly.
All's well that ends. It's just that I probably will not want to be in the position of your last guy, right? But all's well that ends well, and so just keep that back of mind. You have to work on that. You need to seek therapy. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, so thank you very much for sharing that, and I'm sure a lot of people will learn from your story. Okay, I think also that your family members also tried for you in the fact that when they started getting contentious, they gave you counsel. Some people will tell you, and I understand the perspective for people who come from backgrounds that are Christian. There's a perspective that Christians do not get divorced. There's that perspective, right? That God hates divorce. However, the same holy book that says God hates divorce also states that it is better to stay in the corner of the roof of a building than to live in the same house with a contentious woman. So some people are contentious, okay, and you have to identify. Once you identify that, like he mentioned in his assessment, he has a colleague that has been with someone for 10 years. Okay, and he mentioned that once the man realized that the man packs out of the house and stays away for some time and comes back, it's also important for us to also tell ourselves the truth about ourselves. We also have problems. I said something at the beginning of this podcast. This is not a motivational show. You understand me? Okay? This is not motivational. Right? And anybody who's going to watch this, you don't have control over other people. The only person you have control over is yourself. And I think you also need to sit down, find time to sit down with a specialist, a psychologist, so that you can analyze what are those things that trigger you. Because you may be surprised that, for example, there was a couple in which the husband was always got angry when the wife would say, "I've heard you." Wondering how can a statement as simple as "I've heard you" be causing argument? You know why it was causing argument? Because the husband grew up in a house in which when they tell you "Mutigbo," means it's an insult.
Of course.
And you do not tell the lord of the house or the head of the family, "Mutigbo like her." You must tell me, "I will do as you have said."
My lord.
Do you understand? So when his wife will tell him, "I've heard," I've heard like her. How can you be telling me a whole me that you must do what I say? Do you get? So you have to have those conversations, because if you have those triggers, and each time if you go over the arguments you have, you can figure out the things that cause some of those fights. For some people, it's eating. We had somebody who was having a conversation and said he and his wife were always having argument when they were eating together. Because the wife would serve rice and she would put 4 pieces of meat on it. And in his own family growing up, they had the understanding that you wait until the end of the meal. And the wife is like, you can eat the meat in the middle of at the beginning. So they are eating the rice, the wife takes one meat. His mind is calculating the street. Those things you don't say it out. Then the wife took another meat. Right? And then the wife wants to take third one. Guy like, Ogbeni, what's wrong with you? And the wife ate the third one, and then the fight started.
Yeah.
And they started calling family members who said, "What started the fight?" Yeah. Do you understand? So it's important to note the triggers. Okay?
So there's this person that I'm going out with like for a long time now. I'm from a Muslim background. My dad is a Muslim. So eventually I grew up with my grandma. So we go to church right from day one. So I'm not a Muslim, so I'm a Christian. So when a marriage, when it comes to marriage, my mom was like, "Oh, if I'm going to get married to this person," then I told someone in my church that, "Oh, this person I'm dating is a Muslim. That is this kind of person that is not a conk Muslim, but then is a Muslim due to his background." So this person finally told, I don't know how my pastor gets to know this. And he called me one day and said, he's not sure if I can get married to this person because he's a Muslim. So when he told me that, I was just crying because I don't even know what to do at that point. Because if I tell my mom will be like, "What's his business with because my mommy, she will just start shouting that, "What's his business with this, with that?" So I told my sister was like, "No, it's not possible." So after he said that,
it's not possible that you can marry him.
No, that like what the pastor said, that she
doesn't
like
wanna buy
that
the idea.
yeah, that am I going to listen to him? And I'm like, no, now. So after him saying that, oh, I cannot date this person because he's a Muslim. So I tried to inform my sister. My sister was like, is he the pastor that is going to stay in the relationship with me after how many years relationship? What am I going to tell this person that, oh,
How
caused
many
the
years?
6 years?
Wow.
So that what am I going to tell this person that causes the fight or something? So I'm be like, okay, let me try to give other guys a chance to see if there is something I'm not seeing that he is saying. Okay, I try to like, okay, let's start relationship with this person. At let me say like just 2 weeks to the relationship, was just saying things that I can't even hold back to.
What kind of things?
Like, just be like, you have to come to my place, cook, like we should just have sex. And I'm like,
Okay, so he was asking you that when are you coming to see me?
yes, to just have sex. There are some things that even the other guy does not do.
Wait, so let me get you. So you're saying that you're dating. So to summarize your story, because you're using a lot of womanese. But let me just summarize your story. You dated a Muslim for 6 years. Your dad is a Muslim. Your grandparents or the people you stayed with are Christians. You've gone to a church. You spoke to a pastor. Your pastor told you cannot marry a Muslim, can't work. So he said that let me try marrying a Christian. Now the Christian guy you are trying to date within 2 weeks wants you to come over to his place to have sex.
The
Have I
relationship
summarized?
is not even working at all.
Did he ask you to be his girlfriend? No.
We are dating. We are still
No.
dating.
You didn't answer my question. Did he ask you to be his girlfriend?
Yes.
And then, okay, so you agreed to be his girlfriend. And then new guy now wants you to come and spend the night.
Yeah.
And you know that when you come and spend the night, you'll collect something.
Normal.
Abi? Now the old guy you are not giving the old guy something.
No.
He was, wow,
Okay,
he's a nice
so-
guy.
So are you with the Christian guy now or back to the Muslim guy?
It's the Muslim guy I'm with because I'm
That
not.
means basically you didn't cut off the Muslim guy.
No, he just kept him on his way. She just went down low.
He
just went down low.
He's seeing that I'm not seeing.
Oh my
Because
God.
to
As soon
him,
as they
he's
see,
painting
collect something.
him as he's painting the religion as is not good for me to go into the relationship.
It's a Muslim.
Yes.
Okay, you are testing
But
on
you
your
didn't,
pastor.
you didn't consider that your dad is a Muslim
If
No.
from your own
Yeah,
angle.
yeah.
From your own angle.
my own angle, I consider that my dad is a Muslim, and to me, I don't even care if it's religion. Maybe there should be a religion barrier. I didn't care.
I think it's a simple situation. I don't think it's something very difficult. You feel very comfortable with the Muslim guy. You've dated him for 6 years. At least you've seen, his ups and his highs. You know everything, ups and lows and all that. You know everything about him, at least to an extent. At least you can say that you know this Muslim guy, like you understudying him, and you can say this is him for like maybe 70-75%, true or false.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so fantastic. So if you have that, if a pastor now tells you that you can't get married to him, I don't think you need to listen to your pastor. There's no spiritual issues around it. You just need to be with your guy. And the only thing I would advise you to do is basically sit down with your Muslim boyfriend and ask some basic questions. What religion is our children going to practice?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to go to a mosque or they're going to follow me to church? Those are basic questions you just want to find out from. You understand? And if you are able to balance that religion aspect, because that is the contention. His parents might say, your kids are not coming to the Quranic school. Arabic school. They're not coming. I didn't see them in mosque yesterday. Those might be the questions from the guy's parent. But if you say that your boyfriend is somebody that he's not too conk with, the Muslim
But
thing, he might
change.
say he's not conk. But when it gets to marriage and you have kids, he might tell you that I want my boy to be a Muslim scholar. It might be like that. So it is left for you to be, flexible enough.
He has spoken to you from the perspective of managing relationship interactions. Does anybody have contrarian view? Nobody. Do you have any contrary view to what you said? Okay, I have a contrary view. And the good thing about being in this place is that you get to listen to advice from two perspectives. So I have a contrary view and I have a story. Or rather, I have a set of stories. All right?
Yes.
Okay, so now this is the contrarian view. What church do you attend? What particular church do you attend?
The Latter House Christian Center.
Latter Rain or Latter House?
Latter House.
Christian Center. I will tell you because I have been of both faiths. Okay, you see what you're narrating. Exactly, my mother found herself in that situation, and I will tell you how it played out in my own case. And this is a bone of what I want to say is controversial, right? And I have a feeling that both Muslims and Christians will find what I want to say controversial. I usually don't like getting into religious
discourses,
but we have to get into it because they address it. It gets to the root of what you're debating. For people who are true Muslims, and people who are true Christians, all right, you have to accept one of the two faiths. Do you understand me? Because the Christian faith is exclusive. It tells you that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody goes to the Father except through Him. Right? The Muslim faith tells you that you must submit to the will of Allah. There is no other person. There's nobody on earth. There is nobody on earth worthy of worship. When Jesus was on earth, the guy accepted people to worship Him. So you have to, you understand? Muslims do not believe Jesus is God. Christians believe that Jesus is God. He is the Son of God and is equal to God. You see where the problem is? Now, at the end of the day, Muslims believe there is a paradise you are going to. Christians believe that there is no way you will get to heaven except what? Through Christ. Believe in the death and resurrection. So you have two faiths that are exclusive. And that means that if you truly believe your faith, and if your boyfriend truly believes his faith, at some point in time where you're going to have debates about theology, you're going to have a debate about eternal destination. So you have to think about that, how you are going to handle that. The pastor is not telling you that you can marry the person. Nobody can stop you from really marrying anybody. But the pastor is looking at, when you have those theological arguments, whose faith is going to supersede. So I'll tell you what happened in my parents' case. My grandfather from both sides were Muslims. My mother, okay, was born a Muslim. She was raised in a Christian household. All right. When it was time to marry, she married somebody just like her father. We've tried all the religions. You understand? And she married someone like her father. My father was a Muslim. I was born a Muslim. I was given Muslim names. I went to Lekeo. And at some point, she started going to church because she felt that she was having some problems. And she felt that the Christian way was going to give her help with those problems. I going to church, got converted, and then at some particular point in time, my father also got converted. Okay? So I also became a Christian, even though I still have a Muslim name. Do you understand me? But this is the problem. The thing caused a rift at some point in the families. Because the family saw that you took our son away.
Made him a Christian.
And it was a rift that was there for a long time. Do you understand me? They've been able to manage it and all that. It's not as bad as most families because it's a Yoruba family, so it's not the kind of would disown you as a son. But there was that bit of rift there, and I grew up hearing about it. Are you with me? I didn't have, at some particular point in time, the children did not have relationship with some of people the way they would have had if we all were in the same faith. So those are things you have to think of. There's no guarantee that you will convert your husband. If you are thinking you're going to marry your boyfriend and convert him, there's no guarantee you. Because if your mom could not convert your dad, there's a good chance you may not convert. And then if you now give birth to all sons and all your sons are Muslims and they refuse to convert, then I hope you will not have a problem with that.
Yeah.
You get, as a true Christian and as a true Muslim, you believe that you are going to different destinations. And if the two of you, and those things are grounds there for battles. Do you get what I mean? So that's where your pastor is coming from. What he has said is essential. You have to choose your path. If you speak to me, probably with background experience that I have seen, I cannot travel back in time and tell my mother not to make the decision she made. Because if I tell her not to make that decision, I wouldn't be here. You get, but there were consequences for that decision.
Sure.
I'll give an example. There was a particular. I had to take delivery of someone years ago, and when it was time to take delivery, the husband came in and said that he has to give something to his wife. That his baby is not coming out. I'm like, Baba, gives what? Say, let us see what you are bringing. Okay, before you give anything to your wife, you yourself take a bit of it. So that it's not as if you kill the woman and poison whatever. And then he opened his hand and it was okra. Grated okra inside the nylon. So he poured half in his mouth. Said that it's just coming from his baba. And the baba said that if he gives this woman this thing to drink and she drinks it, the baby will just slide out. I know that is rubbish. I know it's nonsense. There's no connection between the mouth and the womb that the okra will. But those are the views that people have.
Yeah.
And he was arguing with the wife. Guy says, he even said he argued. And then I was like, I told the woman, I said, listen, worst case scenario, this thing is just purely okra. Okay? Just take the okra so that we can get on. The rest of us want to finish what we are doing so that we can go home. How do you tell people that the only reason why I'm not back home is because in the hospital? Do you understand? So, and the man took it and waited 5 minutes, nothing, 10 minutes. He said, we told the guy, Baba, he said, Chairman, your Baba thing is not working. So we are taking this person for surgery. Do you understand what I mean? So you need to have that conversation.
Yeah.
So if you are dating somebody who believes, for example, in the traditional, you have to have those conversations.
Yes.
Because you may see the guy wearing a suit. You have no idea how deep people's beliefs go. I have met people who are well educated, they wore suits and all that. The first time I stepped into their house, in their parlor, the living room of the house, there was no interlocking tiles. The parlor, they did not concrete the parlor. It was red earth. They had the statue and they were pouring oil. Men in suits that they can talk to you about what's it called, candlesticks and foreign exchange, stochastic analysis. Talk to you about the war in Ukraine. Talk to you about economic policy, macroeconomics. But then they are still doing
fetish
those things. You consider it fetish. And when I spoke to him, I asked him that, Baba, what is this? He told me that somebody in his lineage has to continue as the priest. And since he is the only son, the priesthood has to go through him.
Yeah.
So if you marry if you date that guy in school and say you're a Christian, you will change him. He has had an unbroken line of priesthood for probably 300 years in his family. You now come. You now believe that with your belief.
You can
change it. You can work that way.
Thank you very much for coming around. Thank you for being part of the show.